Hello, hello, and welcome to Fine, I'll Talk About It, the podcast where we say the quiet parts out loud. Real talk, straight to the point, no fake positivity. I'm your host, Danielle Young, and today I'm joined by Becky Dotson. Becky is a psychic medium and intuitive life coach known for her powerful blend of spirituality, insight, and grounded guidance that inspires healing, clarity, and transformation. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about ethical versus unethical psychics and the pitfalls of extreme spiritual practices. Hello, Becky. Welcome to Fine. I'll Talk About It.
Nice. Thank you so much for having me here.
Sure. I'm so glad that you are here. So, why don't we start with just telling us a little bit about you and how you discovered psychic abilities, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. So, as you said, I'm a psychic medium, also known as the dog bomb medium, and I am able to connect to clients, past loved ones who have crossed over and their spirit guides, angels, and sometimes I just don't really understand where I'm getting their information from, but I provide messages of clarity, guidance, healing, next steps, whether clients are grieving the loss of a loved one or they just need guidance on a certain area of their life, whether it's love or career or any area of their life where they're just looking for like deeper understanding and connection. So that's what I do in a nutshell. But everyone always wants to know like how I got there. Like when did you first know you're a psychic? And there are moments I look back on in my childhood and I'm like, wow, yeah, like that. I was definitely getting psychic information. I just didn't really have anyone around me that could help me understand it at the time. And I didn't actually wake up to my gifts until my late 20s when I went through like a really extreme breakup. And one of my friends suggested that I go to a psychic medium life coach and I was like, okay, well, I'll try anything to feel better. And she set me on this like eat, pray, love healing journey. And I actually opened up to my own psychic medium gifts. So I started doing readings for my friends and doing readings, in the psychic closet, as I'll say. And things started just becoming true. And I was just doing them for fun. And I was pulling tarot cards and just having a blast. And I got more and more referrals, and then I started, to get, like, even more referrals and decided to start charging and open my own business, so that's where I am today.
Nice. Well, that's I mean, I read a thing today actually that said that you know when you have psychic abilities when you're a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And I did not know that. And so the list of things that they had on there, like this, if this happened to you when you were a kid, like you have psychic ability. And I'm like, oh my God, every single one of those things happened to me.
Yes, because kids, they don't have the filter of I call it the muggle world yet, like, they're still so connected to the other side, and they have very big dreams and imagination, and so they're much more open and receptive to psychic information than adults are who are going to try to use their muggle minds or overthink a situation versus a child can definitely tune in a lot faster and a lot, like, a lot more accurately than an adult can.
Yeah. Yeah, I find it fascinating that your psychic gifts are there when you're a child, and then not until we're older do we finally look at that and say, "Oh, that's what that was." I feel
Yeah.
like it takes like some sort of situation or something to happen to really put us into that perspective. And in your case, it was the breakup. So how did you know that these were psychic gifts? Like what were the signs?
Well, I have always enjoyed getting psychic readings, even before I kind of went on my spiritual journey. And several of them said I had my own psychic gifts and I would, use them one day and I would just like kind of laugh at them and be like, okay, sure. And funny because now I'm here. So pretty accurate, pretty spot on. But I guess like I think we grow up, we're taught not to trust ourselves, especially as women. And we're taught not to trust our gut and our instincts and nothing that we can't prove or we can't see with our eyes. And so it took me on my spiritual journey, building the confidence in myself again and learning how to trust myself again, that I was able to trust the intuitive information that was coming to me.
Mm,
And I think because I was doing it for friends and I was doing it for fun, there was like no pressure on it. So I would just say whatever came to me, whatever outrageous thing came. And I had a safe place to do it because my friends just loved it and I trusted them. I did it with people I felt safe with. And it was like building that muscle, that intuitive muscle. And as I did more and more readings and more things started coming true, it's like working or building any muscle, just like at the gym.
mm.
It just gets
Yeah.
stronger and stronger.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know with me, I've come in and out of it. It'll be stronger at one point, and then I won't be as in touch with it at another. So, does yours fluctuate like that at all?
Say yes. And here is why. A lot of times, if there is something that I'm so emotionally attached to, it's so hard for me to trust my intuition. Everyone's like, "You're a psychic. That's great. You should be able to see your future." I can see stuff from my future. I can kind of tap into my own intuitive guidance. I work with my own spirit guides. But if I'm too emotionally attached to something, I do need to call in outside help or my intuition gets a little fuzzy. If I'm stressed, like super stressed at my muggle job, I love using the word muggle. So love it. But I'm super stressed at my muggle job. It's really hard for me sometimes to tune in. If you're really tired, if you're sick, those things can cause you to like have your intuition not be as prevalent or pronounced, or you're just not really like tuning in. Um, I guess I would say anytime you feel ungrounded,
Mm, yeah, yeah. Like, how are you supposed to connect with anything
if your
spiritual if you're
energy's all
not?
over the place.
Yeah. So let's talk about ethical versus unethical psychics. So, what makes an ethical psychic? And then we'll go into
Okay.
the uh the other side of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are a lot of unethical psychics out there, unfortunately. So, a couple of things that you can look out for. If any psychic says you have a dark cloud around you and it's preventing the love of your life from showing up, or it's preventing money or career, whatever uh, it may be, but if you pay me $1,000, I'll remove it. And no, like none of that is real. I don't believe in curses or spells. Like I think that's very Disney, very movie. And no shade into anyone who does that, but it's just not, not my vibe.
Yeah.
Anything unrealistic guarantees about timelines or marriage. You're going to meet your husband in 3 months. Nobody knows. Timelines are so fluid on the other side. So I tell my clients, like, I see it coming sooner, but we all have free will, right? So you could use your free will to prevent it or call it in sooner, but this is what I'm seeing based on the energy right now.
Yeah. Well, and is there even time on the other side? Like, is there even a concept
Yes.
of time?
No. That's why I say it's fluid. Sometimes I'll see something and I'll like swear it like is in the past, but it happens to my client right when they leave the session.
Mm,
And it's like, okay, like who am I to I don't question spirit. I'm like, okay, got that. I messed that one up a tad there with the timeline, but again,
yeah.
like there's no concrete timelines. The other thing is you're not meant to be with one person no matter what. There's no one ultimate soulmate. You have multiple potential matches out there, and I think it's so disempowering to say there is only one and I can sketch him. So, the soulmate sketches, I did get
Yeah.
one because I thought it was so fun, and I put it up next to my boyfriend, and we just kinda giggle, but, like
And I'm guessing they didn't look anything like each other.
well, it's so funny because they actually do
Oh,
in some
okay.
aspects, but,
Surprise.
until he puts on a ring on it, I guess it's really the sketch is useless. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but there are
Yeah, I see those
multiple.
a lot.
Yeah, and I think they're fun and there's no shame in doing it, like, but just make sure you take it with a grain of salt. Nobody should say that they absolutely know who your soulmate is going to be. Um, that's also disempowering to you. Like, to me, that breeds fear. Any psychic that breeds fear. Oh, if I don't meet this person, oh, I met this great guy. His name was Dan, but they said that he would have a T in his name, so I'm not even going to bother. Like, no, that's ridiculous. Like,
Yeah. Or his name
Dan could be
didn't
a great
start with
guy.
this letter. Yeah.
Correct. Hmm.
Yeah. You're missing out on
Yep.
some great opportunities.
Exactly. Um, I did have a client one time, she had a psychic she went to frequently, and the psychic would get mad at her for not coming to her for every situation. So I caution anyone who wants to breed reliance on you because I tell all my clients, like, don't schedule for another 6 months to a year. You don't need to, unless something is blowing up in their life, like they just lost a job or they're in a new relationship and they just kind of want like I call it a checkup reading. And I
Yeah.
typically make them wait 3 months before they can do that, just because I want them to trust their own intuition. I want them to learn how to work with their own spirit guides to get guidance and not need to come to me like for
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
The other thing is I don't deliver doom and gloom. And I recommend that if you have a psychic that says someone's going to die or that you're going to have cancer or something egregious like that, run for the hills. That's not rooted in love. And I think everything and every message from the other side should be rooted in love. And so if they're telling you that kind of stuff, take it with a grain of salt. I I am not God,
Yeah.
or whoever you believe in. It doesn't matter to me. But we don't know when people are going to die. I don't want to see. I won't see if you're going to get sick and when and how and no, like none of that. Um,
But do you see the negative?
yeah, absolutely. I have seen things, breakups, suggestions on breaking up, divorces, affairs. I have seen death, but here's my precaution, or not precaution, but I tell clients this. If I see it, it's because you either already know about it or it's already happened and you're aware. I don't see, so I've gotten affairs and readings, but the person already knew about it. And I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
come out and say, hey, like, was there any sort of affair? Like I worded it differently and we got there. Or I have had people, I'm like, "You wanna know about your relationship you're currently in?" And then I pause, and then we always get there, but again, everything I deliver, I make sure it's rooted in love, and I have seen death or dying. I've seen people with they'll show me spirit will show me an image with someone's foot on the other side, and when I see that, that means somebody's in hospice care or they've been diagnosed terminally ill. So again, it's a known fact. Um, and so, but I won't see I won't see death. Um, I'm just trying to think of anything else negative. Um, Again, I've seen negative stuff, but nothing that's doom and gloom. Like, hey, I see challenges coming up with your work, but like spirit wants you to know, like it's working on your behalf because you need to start this business, right?
Yeah.
So everything is rooted in love.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, nobody wants to pay for bad news.
Right. Right,
Yeah.
right,
Nobody
right.
wants to pay to be told they're dying. I mean, let's be
Mhm.
realistic.
Correct. And I always say trust and believe that the messages that come through today are what you need to hear, right? Because sometimes they're not always what we want to hear. But I'm always going to deliver messages that helps empower a client, helps give them clarity and next steps. Now, how the client takes it after the reading, that I have no control over that, but I do my best to, again, leave a reading where people feel like they have clarity, relief, guidance, next steps, and they felt like some sort of connection beyond themselves.
Yeah, that's super powerful. I know I've gotten a few readings where I've walked away and I'm like, this does not make any sense. And then months later, I'm like, that now makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah, I've had readings where psychically, I'm like, "Oh my god, they were not happy," and I would, like, beat myself up, I would lose sleep, and then they would come back, like, 3 months later and like, "Oh my god, everything you said come true. Like, can I book another reading?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." But I have to remind myself it's not about me. It's not about
Yeah.
me, it's about the client, and, hey, like, I have to be grounded in knowing that I did the best job that I could. I delivered the messages and, you know, how the client takes them and when they land, that's on outside of my control.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you have absolutely no control over how they react. And that can't impact your business either. I mean, if you reacted to every single client that was ever negative, would you stay in business?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I
Absolutely not.
mean, right.
So people, not everyone is unethical, right? Just because you didn't feel like you got a good reading. Like, for example, my boyfriend and I were away this weekend. We were in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and I was like, "Oh my God, can we get a couples reading?" And he's never had a reading. He was like, he'll say yes to whatever I want. So we went to this couples reading. It was the worst reading I ever had. And but I could say this about I intuitively felt she was sweet, she had a good heart. She came from a good place. I just think she might have been a little bit inexperienced and was reading the cards literal meanings and not providing us actually any useful information. But I am a because I do this, I might be a
Yeah.
little bit more critical, than other people, and I also have a ton of Capricorn in my chart, so that could be why, but
Are
I
Capricorns hard to read?
We're very, critical, like, we're
Oh,
very
gotcha.
critical
Okay.
of of people, um, but I feel like she was a good person, she had good intentions, and so, like, not necessarily unethical, but definitely took a lot of what she said with a grain of salt, but that's okay, when you go into readings, sometimes they're fabulous, sometimes they're meh, sometimes they're horrible, sometimes it has to do with the reader's energy or your energy, or maybe you guys just didn't mesh, and that's okay. Just understand that that's a possible outcome in a reading.
Yeah. I've had some psychics that their readings were like, okay, I don't, this was terrible. This was a terrible idea. I don't know why I did this. And my mom, and I'm a Scorpio and I'm really hard to read. And so is my mom. My mom's an Aries. So
Oh, wow.
yeah. So we're really hard to read people. And I feel like when I get that good reading, it's like, oh, I want to stick with you. I become a leech. It's like,
I
I
love
don't
that.
ever want to leave you because you actually can read me.
Yes. Yes. And also it's not a coincidence that you're hard to read and also have psychic intuitive gifts because people that have psychic and intuitive gifts can be very hard to read.
Hmm. Yeah, I get that. So, what else leads to unethical?
Yeah. So they tell you exactly what to do. They're like, there's no room for free will. Well, you have to do this or else this is going to happen. I try to, like, again, we want to make sure we're softening the message, not scaring people. And there have been times where I've been talking to a certain past loved one where I'm like, they say you need to do this. And like, I catch myself. I'm like, no, but like, you have free will. So sometimes it does come through really like sharp. Um,
Hmm.
Now, but I always make sure I tell people take what resonates, leave the rest. If you don't, throw it in the trash if you don't like it. I don't care. Even if it's from me. Even if it's from me, I don't care. Like I don't get everything right. Psychic reading is 75% accurate. And so if a psychic reader will tell you they're any more accurate or can't admit when they're wrong, again, might be a red flag. Um, the other thing is we do not diagnose and prescribe. So while I have a kinesiology degree and I was a personal trainer before this, I have a very good understanding of the human body. And so the spirit will sometimes show me certain things, right? Like, hey, oh, having some sharp, like, pain in my right knee. What does this mean? And the client will like validate, yeah, I've been having some knee pain. And I'll be like, well, show me the advice. Again, it's advice. I have heard it all from spirit. Try a holistic doctor. Ooh, I know you're thinking of a holistic doctor for, your birth, but please be near a hospital. I told that to a client I had. I was like, "Ugh." Again, we don't deliver doom and gloom. We don't diagnose or prescribe, but I saw it so clearly. I said, they're saying, please be near a hospital. You can do what you want. If you want a doula, you want a natural birth, please. But there, and so my client trusted me so much, she booked like, a birthing doula in a attached to a hospital. There was, like, a home birth thing attached to a hospital. Anyway,
Mm,
because of
okay.
the guidance from spirit. Well, her baby
Yeah.
came early, ended up in the NICU. Both
Oh,
are
wow.
fine and thriving, but it's just again, we don't wanna scare, but we wanna like, when they're that
Right.
persistent, I'm like, "Okay, hey." Um, so we cannot diagnose or prescribe.
Yeah.
And it can just show you what spirit is showing me, but I always tell people consult with your medical doctor.
Yeah. Take the liability off of you. Be the source of the source, but never the source.
Correct. Always consult with a medical professional. And I just don't like when psychics are too extreme woo woo that they're like, oh, just rub some goji berries on it. And it's like, no, please go to a
Yeah.
doctor.
Sprinkle
Like,
some lavender on it. Yeah.
yeah, you'll be fine. Just rub some dirt in it. Walk on the ground barefoot. You're like,
Yeah.
no,
Sprinkle some salt and light a candle and
yeah,
yeah, I've
mm-mm,
seen that too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's too extreme. I don't like extremes in any areas of my life, and it includes my psychic life, my intuitive life. You have to balance muggle and magic. You really do. And that's the sweet spot, right? Because we can't all live in the clouds all the time, but we all can't be like super rigid with our lives as well. And I think one of the last things, um, red flags would be if they dismiss therapy or other forms of coaching. I am so pro therapy. And again, spirit comes through and I will tell people, hey, they're showing me like therapy might be a good option, but some people are very uncomfortable with therapy. So sometimes spirit shows me like find your own therapy, whether it's gym, journal, swim, meditate, whatever your therapy is. But if there's psychics that say like therapy is like not good, again, no, there's a balance between muggle and magic. And what's interesting is I find that my spirit guides guide me to the right therapist at the right time in my life. Every time I've gotten a new therapist, because I've moved so much and I've had to, it's always they bring in a modality that's different that I need at that time. And it's
Mm,
so beautiful.
yeah. That's awesome. I know it feels like we're all on a timeline, but we're really not. I mean, we're not on our timeline.
Right.
We're on the universe's timeline. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that and want to control, control, control. And, just getting that message of, hey, you've got someone looking out for you, and this is advice. You can do with it what you want, but can be really helpful to those people who are just feeling like they have to control the outcome of something and give some
Right.
reassurance too. And then on the flip side of that, you've got the psychics who, like you said, will tell you anything and everything, like basically tell you what you want to hear and or tell you something that's not conducive to ethical practices, and then you're left with that as well.
Right. And I've had a lot of psychics tell me what I want to hear. And I would caution you on this, or anyone listening to this, pay by the minute psychics are very unreliable. Not all of them. There are definitely some good ones out there. But anytime you're not face to face with somebody or you do not know who you are getting on the other side of that, chat. And it's a lot of times very pricey and they suck you in too. Like they'll give you like some good reading and like some good nuggets of information, and then you'll be ready to log off, and they'll be like, "Oh, but I have one more really important thing to tell you, and if you don't listen, your grandma might die." No, I'm just kidding. That's pretty extreme, but like they will
Yeah.
like try to like keep you stuck on there. And in my worst heartbreaks, I've definitely got on them and like, "Oh my God, tell me everything's gonna be okay, and he's gonna come back," and they do. And is it true? No, like, but
No.
that can be addicting to somebody who's, like, going through heartbreak, and they'll just keep coming back and keep coming back, and honestly, even if I had someone ask me, like, "I want to see my ex will come back, can you tell me that?" I'm like, "Look, I can read into the situation and give you advice and guidance, but telling you somebody's going to come back does not help you. It doesn't help you because, yeah, they could come back, and most of them do, but Should they? Do you want them to? Is this healthy?
Yeah.
You can't control whether they come back or not. They have free will. So how are we going to help you heal so you can move forward whether they come back or not? And that's what my psychic medium life coach did to me all those years ago. That was so different from any other experience I had with a psychic. And I said, wow, like you
Yeah.
actually gave me info to help me.
Yeah, and people I feel see psychics at their most vulnerable. And, they're so desperate for answers that everything feels real. And I have such a hard time with these communities that are, they can read you and they know exactly by your facial expressions, like where they should go with this. And they just keep feeding you things. And I feel like if you're, in this vulnerable state and you're sitting there with this person and all they're doing is just reading your facial expressions and reading your emotions, I don't know how these people live with themselves. I really don't. It's
Yeah.
like you're preying on people at their most vulnerable.
Right.
And then this person is left with these false expectations and this false sense of safety. And then what? The bottom drops out when none of it comes true. And then, there's any number of repercussions from that. It's
Right.
horrible.
Right. And I always attract women who attract narcissists or guys who don't fully choose them. They're chasing all the wrong guys. Guess what? Because I'm a pro, I have a PhD in that, right? And so I attract a lot of clients going through the same thing, but I always take myself out of the equation and I just tell spirit, um, like, hey, what does this person like? What's the message for them? What's the guidance? Because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna be biased and say, "Oh, every guy is like this." No, it's what what guidance do you have for that? Because I have had some clients that are like, they have been hurt in the past, they have had toxic relationships, and who they're with right now is actually like sometimes the guidance isn't always, he's not gonna change or he's not gonna get better." Sometimes the guidance is, "You're not ready to make a decision right now, so get grounded and get clear on what you want and write down everything you want and see if your relationship measures up to that." Or I've gotten guidance like, "Give this guy a chance."
Yeah.
So not everything is based on my past experience. Like I'm just a messenger. Spirit just tells me what to say. They just
Yeah.
speak through me in a weird way.
Yeah. I know. I get that. So, what are some green flags to look for? I feel like we've talked a lot about the red. I mean, are there any green flags to psychics?
Oh, I mean, yeah, there are definitely tons. I've worked with a lot of really ethical psychics. Well, one, anyone who tells you, like, that they don't know all the answers, right? And that they're gonna do their best to deliver the messages to you, but can't make you any guarantees. That's a green flag. We cannot make you any guarantees, right? The other thing is if and this sounds counterintuitive. If a psychic asks you, "Hey, is there a specific person you wanna connect to in this reading? Is there a specific topic you wanna focus on?" Now, some people see that and they're like, "Oh my god, but, like, aren't you psychic? Shouldn't you know?"
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but you're paying for a session. I want you to get your most money out of it, and a lot of ethical psychics will ask you, like, "Hey, just what do you wanna hear about today?" Right? Another green flag is an ethical psychic will tell you, um again, not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear, and help provide you guidance, clarity, and next steps. Again, they're not here to tell you what to do or tell you that things are definite, right? Your future is not set in stone because, as we've talked about before, you all have free will, and the people that you're interacting with have free will. So, an ethical psychic will tell you, hey, nothing is set in stone. This is just what I see right now based on the current energy, but that energy can always change. Um, Somebody that offers you resources like books, therapy, like advice on certain other healing modalities that you can try, like things that aren't going to help monetize themselves. Now, obviously, psychics also have to make money too. So it's not always necessarily like selling you things, it's what they're trying to sell you. So some people, I offer life coaching too because I just feel like they would be great life coaching clients and they need it. Um, and that's not a red flag, but if I was like, "Oh, you have a curse around you and I can remove it," now that's a little bit more of a red flag. And also just green flag if somebody feels good to you,
Mm,
because I believe that spirit brings me the people that are going to connect with me. I swear like a sailor. I talk a million miles a minute. I'm from the Northeast. I like move really fast. Like, and I'm not going to click with everyone. And that's
right.
okay. I trust that spirit will bring me the people that understand me and will be able to relate to the type of reading that I do deliver.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, your vibe attracts your tribe, right?
Hmm. Absolutely.
It's it's the same with anything in life, really. Not everybody is going to like what you have to offer. Not every and the thing that I find is not everyone believes in psychics either. And they all think that psychics are charlatans and they're just fake and they tell you what you want to hear and all of this stuff. And part of that is because there's so much of the the fake psychics going around and swindling people and making non-believers.
Oh, yeah, and it's, like, my passion and my mission to demystify this work. It's not that crazy. Like, I've been out with people and they're like, "Oh my god, you don't look like a psychic." I'm like, "What?" Yeah, I don't wear a cloak and carry around a
Yeah,
crystal ball. I don't have, like, 20-inch nails, like,
you don't have a
I
wand or yeah,
Right, like, and it's a lot more like, people are waking up a lot more in the coming generation. So it's going to be interesting. But there has been an explosion of people wanting to get into this work. And it's such a good thing, but it's also like something to caution yourselves on because, again, not always unethical psychics out there. Absolutely. I do believe that there are a lot of inexperienced people out there. That's another
yeah,
green flag. If somebody hasn't mentored, before they start charging. I did years of free readings before I started charging and work with mentors, right? So green flag energy, they work with mentors. They've done this practice. They do practice. I still do practice readings. I still go to mediumship classes. I still do development work because you need to work those muscles.
yeah,
Um, and that's, I think, the last huge green flag is like I try to tell people if for whatever reason, like I ask that people validate where I'm going is making sense because sometimes, I could be reading for another client that's coming next, right? And so I will tell somebody if this isn't a match or you're not feeling it or ooh, like the energy seems off, I'll reschedule you. If we reschedule and that still happens, I'll give you your money back.
nice.
Yeah.
Seems
Because
reasonable.
sometimes just the people don't click and it doesn't matter. I've given my money back one time. And I was happy to do it. I'm like, yeah, this wasn't a good fit. Spirit even told me not to read for her.
You
Lesson
ignored
learned.
them.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, you don't have to read for everyone. And it was at a time where I'm like, but I gotta build my business and I gotta build like I gotta do it. And I didn't listen. And yeah, so
Yeah.
I learning the hard way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, unfortunately there's that too. Okay, confession. I love to scroll Instagram and stop on the tarot readers.
Oh my God. Heck
Like
yes.
like the collective readings and things, especially the Scorpio ones. What is this week have in store for you? And I'm like, okay, you have my full attention because I really want to know, like, what does this week have in store for me? And I know that I should not be doing that, but it's entertainment, right? And I take it as entertainment. But I feel like sometimes I could get really sucked into believing that, like, oh, that's why last week sucked. Okay. But this week is going to be better. Thank you. Okay. I have hope. And then it's like, no, this week sucked too. But those are
Yeah.
so fun. They're so fun.
Oh
I
my gosh. No shame, girl, because like I have
Yeah,
watched countless YouTube readers. I love it. I think it's fun. That's actually how I learned a lot of how to read tarot.
yeah,
But I don't think it's that you're doing it. I think what's important is the intention behind it, right? I
yeah,
think this is fun. Let me just see what this is. I enjoy it and it brings you joy, do it. But if it's like, "Oh my god, my boyfriend just broke up with me and I wanna know what he thinks," and, "Oh my god, she said he was gonna come back and he didn't come back," and, "Oh my god, what's going on?"
Yeah.
That's when it gets unhealthy, when it gets toxic, that's when it's time to, like, take a little breaky from that. But if you're doing it for fun, great. And sometimes if you like, just notice the repeat in the messages, right? Because maybe, you scroll on one of those things and it says, "Hey, Scorpio, you need to take a rest. If you don't, you're gonna get sick." Right? And you're like, "Okay." And then you're driving an hour later and you see a billboard, "Take a rest." Right? And then,
Yeah.
your mom texts you out of nowhere, "Have you taken a nap today?" Or like, something. Just pay
Yeah.
attention to the little nougats because spirit guides know you watch that stuff. Hey, you never know what
Yeah.
information they could trickle in there.
Yeah. Synchronicities, little synchronicities from the universe. I love those.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, I'll be listening to, or I'll wake up in the morning and a song will pop in my head and I'm like, "Huh, why is that song popping into my head?" And then, like, I'll get in my car to go somewhere and it comes on the radio
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Okay, thanks."
Yeah.
A little head nod to the universe. "Thank you for sending the message." I don't know. It's so fun watching that stuff and then seeing if some of it actually really does come true. But then you have the people who are self-soothing with it,
Mhm.
and that's where you get into trouble. And I feel like some of these programs out there can kind of put this false sense of, like they have the emotional aspect, they have the emotional component of it, but they're not addressing the underlying stuff. You know, like
Right.
Like, why are you searching out this? Why are you feeling this way? Like, why are you so desperate to get your boyfriend back? The narcissist who was not good for you at all. Why are you trying so hard to get them back?
Right. And it's like, w what is causing these patterns? Because I tell clients all the time, if you don't heal the inside of you and like what causes you to be attracted to these types of people, then you're just going to attract that person in another form, and
Eh,
another form, and another form until you heal it. You will continue to repeat it, and the universe will get louder and louder and louder until the point where and they had to do that with me, where I was like, I'm done. And I
Yeah.
had to fix the pattern that kept. And so nothing in your external world will change unless you change your internal world. And I preach that
Abso-freaking-lutely. Yeah.
because we go for the opposite. Like, oh, if I get the car, I'll feel good about myself. If I lose the weight, I'll feel good about myself. If I and I was in the fitness industry for 10 years. Why do you think people gain it all back? Because they
Yeah.
haven't fixed the internal dialogue, the limiting beliefs, the trauma that causes them to go back to these unhealthy habits, whatever they are, whether it's food or whether it's exercise or whether it's men or whether it's, overworking or whatever your overdoing or underdoing or toxic trait that you have. It's all comes from the inside of you. Nothing on the external is going to make it better
Yeah.
until you fix the inside.
Yeah. So what about things like law of attraction?
Oh Lord. So it's
Oh, I've hit a nerve. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's so funny because I was talking on a podcast that never came out, which is fine because, you know, again, I don't like extreme. So someone was very law of attraction is completely toxic. And I don't believe that the law of attraction is completely toxic, right? I I do think there are toxic elements, but I do think there's a lot of good that comes from it. So I learned about the law of attraction when I was on my healing journey, and it really helped me because I used to think very negatively. I used to speak very negatively about me, about myself, and it was a great jumping off point to start reframing my mindset and how I thought and how I spoke. Um, and it was a good positive step and impact on my life. And I have told others about the law of attraction or check out watching The Secret. However, yes, people take that stuff to extremes. And when we take anything to an extreme, it becomes unhealthy, right?
Hmm.
And I would agree because you see people like you make a vision board and you make a vision board and you make a vision board, but you make a list and you write a list about your dream life and your dream man. I'm just going to use relationships just because that's the number one reason I have people come to me is career and relationships. But let's just say you're wanting to manifest a relationship and you're like, I do vision boards. I wrote down everything I want about them and I've envisioned it and I've made playlists and I've, wore a fake wedding ring around and try to like imagine myself married, but he's still not here. He's still not here. He's still not here. And I keep dating because yes, it's great to have the vision boards to inspire you. It's great to listen to the songs and get into like a high vibration. But again, you can't call anything in until you fix what's causing you to attract these partners or to choose the wrong partners or whatever is blocking you from calling in love, career, money, the internal beliefs, the limiting beliefs, the trauma. And what I love about like making a vision board or making lists and then asking your spirit guides to help you is again, they'll bring things that help you heal that internal self, that those limiting beliefs, whether it's the perfect therapist, the perfect book, the perfect friend that you need during that time, like the perfect journal prompt to do. So again, law of attraction should be used as a tool, not a, oh my gosh, I'll get a six pack ab if I just throw it on a vision board and say, I have a six pack ab, I have a six pack ab, but I don't
Yeah.
hit the gym. So the first step is getting clear on what you want, and the second step is taking spiritually aligned action.
Yeah.
And
Or any
spirit
action. I mean,
yes.
it's not just going to fall in your lap.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to do the work, you have to hold yourself personally accountable. If you wanna attract a man, but you keep going back to your ex who's said he doesn't wanna get married and doesn't wanna have kids, and you wanna have kids and you wanna get married, and you keep going back, and you keep going back, keep going back. Well, what are you telling the universe? Like, you're telling them that you're not that serious.
Yeah. And then you're not ready for that to be called in for you. And the whole thing
Yeah.
about, the law of attraction and vision boards and things like that. Yeah, I agree with you. It's great to have that as inspiration. But as far as it being this end all be all manifesto, what happens when it doesn't happen? Then you start to go down the rabbit hole of, oh, no, I'm a failure.
Yeah.
And it just, whatever negative emotions and limiting beliefs you already have about yourself, it's just compounding. And
Yeah.
if you're not using it the way that it was intended and using it as a supplemental tool, you are doing more harm than good to yourself and your mental health.
Yeah. I had a total I went postal. Like, I had a really bad like, I was like, "Why is nothing" and it was my vision board that everything else came true, money, career, like, it's always been easy for me, but it was always love that was really, really hard, and I had a vision board, and I went postal one night just, like I was like, "Why hasn't it showed up?" I broke the vision board and ripped it to shreds like a Tasmanian devil, like,
Yeah,
psychopath, because I was like, why isn't this working? Like, it
right.
works for everything else. And I was crying. And so that was the point where it's like you need to like step away. And I mean, I've had clients, I do a lot of life coaching that do vision board. I had them do vision boards, but I always remind them like just, just have it there to like inspire you. Like, but your vision, and I always tell them, your vision can always change.
Yeah,
You can adapt it. Just because you're not getting it doesn't mean you failed. It just means that, the universe sometimes has something better planned. And that's, as we're talking about this, I'm thinking the other thing that really drives me nuts about the law of attraction is I'm like, "Oh my god, I thought a negative thought. I just thought I was never gonna get married. Oh my god. Oh my
yes,
god." Like, and you just like you run around your house, you throw salt over your shoulder or whatever,
yes,
and you're like,
sage.
"No."
Yeah,
Yes. It's like you can think a quote unquote negative thought. I mean, like
yeah.
it
You're not going to
it
undo the entire thing if you have one negative thought. I mean, it's this
Right.
impossible expectation that we put on ourselves with this stuff. And it's like, oh my God, I can't think this way. I mean, there for a
No.
while, I was like snapping my wrist with rubber bands. Like, nope, can't have a negative thought. Nope, can't have it. And it's like, what am I bypassing by doing this? And, finally, I'm smart enough to figure it out. Like, oh yeah, I'm not feeling my feelings. I'm not emotionally equipped to deal with what is coming up for me. So here I am just like snapping my wrist with rubber bands.
Oh gosh. I actually it's so funny you say that. I told my therapist, I'm like, "I'm gonna start doing that." And she's like, from somebody who's been, like, negatively punished their whole life, you
Right?
probably shouldn't do that." Like,
Right?
you should probably, like,
Yeah.
not do that.
Yeah. It's so insane because we will reach for the depths of whatever we know to help us with, why isn't this working? And these possible expectations that we put on ourselves when we want so desperately for something to manifest and for something to happen. It's
Yeah.
crazy the things that I have seen be suggested. Come
Yes.
on, we're not masochists. Like, come on.
Yeah, and if a negative feeling keeps and I don't like to use the word negative because I feel like there's feelings that feel less comfortable, but if they're coming up, they're showing up for a reason. And the true definition of self-care and self-love is holding yourself through the tough parts and allowing yourself the space to feel these big things. And for like it's so true and the only way out is through. You have to feel it
Yeah,
all so that you can heal it and then you can call in what you truly deserve. But you need to also, like, let it go. Like, get clear on what you want, put a vision board together, but let it go. Continue to work on you, heal yourself, go out and do things that fill you up and bring you joy. Don't do it because you have to do it because you have to be in a high vibration all the time to attract what you want. Do it because you love to do it.
yeah. Or do it because it feels good to do it.
Yeah. And if you're tired, don't do anything. Because every time I talk to a client, I'm like, I don't want to add more homework that you feel required to do, but I'll give them suggestions of like homework and like life coaching plans. I'm like, if you don't feel like journaling, don't journal that day. If you don't feel
Yeah.
like reading a chapter of the book, don't do it. Do what intuitively feels good to you. I want to take a bubble bath tonight. I want to sit and cry because I need to sit and cry.
Hmm.
Listen to your intuition.
Yeah.
Try pick up an old habit from childhood, make a fort. Like, just do something. Like,
Yeah.
live your life and have so much fun, and everything that's meant for you will start opening. You don't have to do anything. You don't
Yeah.
have to say a million positive thoughts. But again, I on the other side of the spectrum, I have work with clients that literally everything, I can't do that because of this. And negative, 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 negative. And so again, you can't swing too far that way either.
Right.
Right? There's just that Goldilocks syndrome. Just right. And it's okay to go through to, you know, swing to the different sides of the pendulum, a positive and negative, but the middle is that sweet spot where you want to be most of the time. And it's okay to go to the negative or the positive depending on what is happening in your life. You just had a baby, oh my gosh, probably more on the positive. If you're just got a divorce, negative, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like these are just seasons of your life and you can always move along the spectrum as the seasons change.
Right. Yeah. That one thing doesn't define your entire life. And it,
Correct.
it doesn't define who you are either.
No, we're all humans, we're all spirits, we're all here living a human experience. We come here to learn, grow, and evolve as your soul. That is your only life purpose.
Yeah.
And how you express that and how you do that and how you help others. Now, that, is unique to your own individual gifts and soul contracts and all that stuff. But we all come here to grow, heal, and evolve and help each other. How we do that is always expressed differently, but that's our purpose. It's not a job, it's not a husband, it's not a child. That is your purpose.
Yeah.
Now, I have seen it where spirit showed me that you're going to like having a child is your life purpose of how you're going to grow the most, or you know, it's your career. I've seen that, but again, that's what our purpose is here, at least from what spirit shows me. But total green flag energy right now. I could be wrong. We don't know till we die, but this is just what I've shown and what I believe and what feels true to me. So if something different feels true to you, like that's okay too.
Yeah, we can all have different truths.
Absolutely. I think it gets toxic when we just claim to know it all or to always be right because we just don't know.
No, we don't. And when we walk around like we do, it shuts us off from growing and learning and evolving as a human species.
Agreed.
Well, I'm sure we've pissed some people off with this conversation tonight. So,
It's total Scorpio energy, by the way.
yeah, no, it's a different perspective, and people can agree with it or they cannot agree with it, and that's free will.
Love it.
Yay! So, where can we find you if someone wants to book an appointment with you?
Absolutely. So you can follow me on Instagram. It's Dog Mom Medium, or you can go to dogmommedium.com to book a reading.
Awesome. And I always end with one question. What does the future hold for Becky?
I have no idea. And I really love that. I'm just going to follow my spirit guides and my intuition, and, we'll see where we end up.
Good answer. I mean, do any of us ever really know where we're going to end up?
No,
We just go where the wind blows us, I guess.
exactly.
Um, all right. Well, thank you for hanging out with us on Fine, I'll Talk About It. If today's episode got you thinking, hit follow or subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if you want more real talk, more perspective shifts, and more finally someone said it moments, leave a quick review. It helps other people find the show. You can connect with me on Instagram at Inspired Action Wellness or my website, inspiredactionwellness.com, for more conversations like this. We will see you in the next episode.